Right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty obvious. I think we all knew this was coming, actually, but this is not good. This is not bad news. This is good news. Alfred Molina has confirmed that he is going to be Doc Ock, but interestingly enough, Spider-Man: No Way Home will be picking up Doc Ock's story right after he dies in Spider-Man 2. So definitely the Spider-Verse, 100%, like 100%. Spider-Verse. Now, there are supposedly a whole bunch of leaks and things like that, which is fine. Like, I haven't bothered to look into that yet. I'd like to go into this as sort of open-minded as possible without looking at all of the leaks. But it's interesting that, you know, he's come out and just confirmed it, and it's also picking up immediately after his death. I find that to be very, very interesting. So we'll dive into this today. Ladies and gents, before I do, we've got memberships open on the channel. If you want to support the channel further, that'd be fantastic. We also have a Blu-ray that I'm selling here for my film Black Fields. There's only 100 left. We did a batch of 500 basically, and there's only 100 left. So if you want to buy one, please do, because time is actually running out now, and they will stop being for sale as of May 3rd. So only 100 left. Go grab one. Down below in the description box, there's a link. So let's dive into this, right? So Alfred Molina has just 100% come out and confirmed it. Which, you know, it's not even Tom Holland this time that's just come out and spoiled it all. It's the man himself. He says, when we were shooting it, we're all under orders not to talk about it because it was supposed to be some great big secret. But, you know, it's all over the internet. I actually described myself as the worst kept secret in Hollywood. Well, right, fine. I mean, at least he's embracing it, I guess. Now, here's the interesting stuff. So, while the vast majority of the Marvel stars often choose to remain tight-lipped about their involvement in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Molina was more than happy to share the news with Variety and even opened up about his experience reprising his iconic role after nearly 2 decades. Now, that's really important. But, like, it's not that they choose to remain tight-lipped, it's that they can't speak. They're not allowed to speak. They're under NDA. But he says it was wonderful. It was very interesting going back after 17 years to play the same role. Given that in the intervening years, they now have two chins, a wattle, crow's feet, and a slightly dodgy lower back. So basically he's just obviously embracing how old he is, I guess. Now, he was asked how he returns. But that's where he's not really that obvious about it. So, you know, he does absolutely die. But director John Watts told him, this is his reply anyway, in this universe, no one really dies. And that's the plan that's set in motion, and Molina was fully on board at that point. So obviously that's the sort of, hey, do you want to come and play, you know, this character again? He didn't divulge much else, but he did reveal that Doc Ock's story will pick up immediately after that moment in the river, when he sacrificed himself to save Peter. So I would imagine maybe that's the point at which, I guess, some form of universe cracking event occurs. That, you know, there's a rift between universes, because it was a form of like a black hole sun sort of mini object thing. So I would imagine that's probably the mechanism by which we open and introduce to the Spider-Verse, the multiverse. Now, the rumour mill has pointed towards a multiversal element in No Way Home, along with a potential time travel and diverging timelines. So it sure sounds like Watts and producer Kevin Feige have some big plans for Spidey 3. The story's complexities weren't necessarily Molina's biggest concern with coming back, though. It was his age, which he absolutely, again, keeps embracing here. He says, when expressing his concern to Watts, he was assured that he'll look good. He just looked at me and said, did you see what we did to Robert Downey Jr. and Sam Jackson? They don't always look that great in these films, in fairness, but whatever. Now, he also joked and said they made Robert De Niro's face younger, but when he was fighting, he looked like an older guy. He looked like an old guy. That's what worried me about doing it again. I don't have the same physicality that I had 17 years ago. That's just a fact. And that's the truth behind any of the de-aging process that they do with these characters, and it was the same as Sam Jackson, right? So Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel, yeah, he looked young, but when he's running around like an old guy. You can't escape that. It's just not possible. But he says, I then remembered that it's the tentacles that do all the work. He sat straight up in his seat. My basic physical move as Doc Ock, as the actor, is just this, he said as he glared intensely at the zoom camera and made a menacing noise. I just do that a lot. And the arms are doing all the killing and smashing and breaking. I'm just going, he glared again, with a kind of mean look on my face. It was fantastic. I really like Molina. I think he's a dude. I think it's very, very funny. His interviews are fantastic, to be perfectly honest. And you know, it isn't a huge one. This interview here, this is the source of it anyway, the Variety one, which I'll link down below. It's not a huge one. You know, he goes into saying, you know, when we're shooting it, we're all under orders not to talk about it. But then obviously everyone knew. But yeah, so in terms of how this is going to go down, you know, him saying, yep, you know, I'm coming back. It takes off immediately after Spider-Man 2 and things like that. I think that all but confirms the multiverse and the Spider-Verse. And it makes sense that Sony would want to do that. Why? Well, they've had great success with Into the Spider-Verse. Having a live-action version of that, or a live-action, I guess, something which could proceed into that sort of Spider-Verse movie would be great. And it opens the possibilities up for Sony to do more with the property moving forwards than just have to work with Marvel, which is really, really smart. But then it also ties back into Marvel working with Sony as well, and it opens them up to doing a lot more stuff together. So there's a lot that works here. And I think that this also potentially goes into the future of Venom, because they've always been talking about Venom coming back, you know, working alongside Spider-Man, not working, but the universes colliding, but then being quite different universes already. So I think that this makes a lot of sense how they can start smashing everything together by creating the multiverse and just having the Spider-Verse open. And I think they've already announced that they were looking to do a Madam Web movie as well. So this goes in with that. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Alfred Molina is cool. Again, what a dude. Good to see him back in the role. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people did. I just think it's sort of, I don't know, sort of campy 2000s fun, 90s fun, whatever. Old comic book fun. Comic book movie fun, which will be interesting to see how it pans out. So let me know what you think down below. But yeah, he is back, and it apparently takes off immediately from when he dies. So he's obviously not dead. He's being sucked through the multiverse. So let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thanks so much. Take care.